can start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Hi. My name is Ofa Kayati. I live here in Omaha, and I'm a nurse in ICU and Methodist Hospital. And I'm a mother of 4 kids. I have an 18 years old. He's a freshman in UNO, actually in Peter Kiewit Institute. He's going to pursue a computer science and cybersecurity. My second kid is Omar, and he's a sophomore in the Miller West High School. My daughter, she's 13, and she's in middle school in Russell by Miller West. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. And I have a baby. He's 20-month-old, and his name is Zane. I'm with Angie in Tri-Faith Kids, and I'm the leader from AMI, the American Muslim Institute. I joined Tri-Faith Kids since the beginning, since called before Interfaith, Interplay actually. And since I think my oldest son, Namir, he was like, I think he was 5 years old. So it's been a long journey with Tri-Faith Kids. I'm going to talk today about Islam, and we're going to go through again the 5 pillars of Islam, because they are the main principle of Islam. And I'm going to talk after about our major holidays. We kind of had few, but I'm just going to talk about the major ones. And some of the custom and we'll end up by the question, if you have any question that I can do it. I don't think it's working. Is it?
I think you might have hit the button.
Oh, am I maybe playing with it? Okay, yeah, now it's working.
Or is that all right? Hey, Jonathan.
I think it's present.
Yeah, hit the present. Oh, but do you want to look at your notes too? Yeah, you hit up. No. All right. I'll go to first.
I heard that you learned the 5 pillars of Islam, so maybe I'm gonna quiz you later, so be careful, okay? The basic of Islam, it's really simple. Any Muslim, I'm gonna mention first one thing, because it's confusing for a lot of people here in the United States. The religion itself, it's Islam. And we say like a Muslim mean like a Christian or a Jewish guy. So Muslim, it's the person, the name to give it to a person, Muslim. But Islam is the religion itself. It's like Christianity or Judaism.
I'm going to say, are you in Islam?
No, I'm not in Islam, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not a religion, but I'm a person, and I'm a Muslim. The 5 pillars, I think I played again with it.
No problem.
Now it's red.
Yeah.
Put it away from your thumb.
I have to wait for it.
Okay, now you are.
Okay. Okay, who can tell me? Let's do it again.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay. Who can tell me the 5 pillars of
oh
Islam?
my goodness.
Okay, I know.
Can you tell me your name?
Oh, Lily.
Lily, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, but
Okay. Well, it's gonna.
Shahada. I knew that one, but just like the other one.
I have my mind in there.
The prayer, the charity, fasting, and Oh, there's one more. Isn't it the journey to the house of God?
Yes.
I don't know what
Yeah.
it's called. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good job. Yes. It's so simple and easy. It's 5 pillars. First, it's the belief itself. It's called the Shahada, the declaration of faith. It's kind of like a phrase that you say it when you convert or when you're a Muslim. It's like there's no God but Allah. And Allah is the name of God. Instead, we can say God, we can say Allah is the same, but because mostly in Arabic we say Allah. So there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and Muhammad is the prophet and the messenger of Allah. The second is the prayer, and we pray 5 times a day. Each prayer it's different. The short one, the first one, it should be and then after dawn, when it's like sunrise. And the last one is the Isha, and it's around maybe 8:39 p.m. The third pillar of Islam is the charity, and it's give money or give whatever you have. Even if you don't have money, there's other ways to give. Normally, usually it's the 2.5% of your saving. But if a person does not have that much money, they can do other stuff. The fourth one is fasting. And our fasting month is called Ramadan. Ramadan is not eating or drinking anything from the sunrise to sunset. But normally we say from the sunrise to sunset, but it's even before from the sunrise. It's kind of around dawn. The fifth pillar is the pilgrimage to Mecca, and it's called Hajj. Muslims should go to Mecca to worship Allah. It's once in your lifetime, and there is a lot of condition for the fifth pillar of Islam. Because it costs a lot of money first, and you don't have to do it, but that's why the condition itself in there, you do it once in your life if you are able to do it. If not, your son or any other person can do it for you. And there's a lot of condition to it. If you're unable physically to do it, you don't have to do it. So the fifth pillar is not you have to do it.
And something I heard you guys say that I thought was interesting is if you aren't allowed to go in debt to do it. So
Yes.
if you cannot afford it, you do not have to do it, and your son doesn't have to do it. It's not this obligation or burden you're supposed to carry.
Yeah, you don't have to get a loan to go.
Right.
That's not accepted at all. So that's why I said there's a lot of condition for the fifth pillar of Islam. There is any question for those? Okay. So this PowerPoint I made for the Tri-Faith kids last month. And we went through the major holidays in Islam. And there's 2 of them. Those are yeah. There's 2 official holidays in Islam, and called Eid al-Fitr, and that's celebrated after our fasting month. I really didn't play this time with it. Eid al-Fitr celebrated at the end of Ramadan and after the fasting month. Can anybody tell me how long it lasts, Ramadan?
Is it a month?
Yes. Yeah. Eid al-Fitr, we celebrate it exactly after Ramadan, and Ramadan it's a whole fasting month, from day 1 to 30 days. It can be 29, but it's based on our lunar calendar. So if we see the moon, then it's like, it's we know that it's next day, it's a Eid al-Fitr. So,
What do you mean when you say that? When you see, if you see the moon,
yeah, I mean, like, you know, the
so you
moon,
base it on?
it's like based on the moon, the whole cycle of the moon. So the first day of Eid, it's, you can see it like, it's kind of like
A little
just
sliver.
this, yeah, it's like, so based on that, we know that tomorrow it's Eid al-Fitr. So it could be Ramadan, it could be 29 days, it could be 30 days. Thank you. The second Eid is Eid al-Adha, we call it, and it's the festival of sacrifice. And Eid al-Adha comes like almost 2 months after Eid al-Fitr. I have in my other one, like, for this year, Eid al-Fitr came like June 15 of 2018, and Eid al-Adha came like October 21st. I put here Tuesday, October 21st to October 25th because in Muslim countries they celebrate Eid like 3 days. But here, unfortunately, we don't even celebrate it one day. But we try to. I try to take my kids out of school so we can celebrate it together. But in other Muslim countries, they celebrate it almost 3 days. Eid al-Adha, called Festival of Sacrifice, and it's the honor of the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son as an act of obedience to God's command. And for Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, those two major holidays, we can greet people. This is like the main greeting people, like if you have like a Muslim friend or co-worker or a teacher, anybody that you know it's Muslim and you know that Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha, it's around that time, you can tell them like Eid Mubarak, and that's like the routine greeting of those holidays.
So that's like if during Christmas, people say Merry Christmas.
Yes.
That's something
Yeah.
that you could say.
It used to come, Eid al-Adha used to come around Christmas, but because we go with a lunar calendar, so the lunar calendar every year change, and every year it kind of like go back 2 weeks backwards. So now it's like October, but I remember like 5 years ago it was like around Christmas time. Yes.
Do you still celebrate Halloween?
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's not like a religious holiday. I don't see it myself as a religious holiday. We celebrate Halloween, we celebrate Thanksgiving. We celebrate even Christmas, but in our way, not like, you know, shopping and buying gifts, but it just, I mean, I've been raised in Tunisia, and I always celebrate Christmas, but I didn't know well, not I didn't know, but it's not really commercialized like here. So because we have Christian and Jewish people live in Tunisia too, so and there's some people they will have a tree, they will have, you know, but we celebrate more like with chocolate and buying sweets and having dinner together, not like buying gifts to each other and stuff. And even in Europe, it's the same way, but I don't know, like there's few, I'm Arab Muslim, but I have a lot of Arab friends, non-Muslims, so they celebrate they celebrate Christmas and they celebrate Easter and everything, and we get together and we do a lot of stuff together. So it's just like we respect each faith and we do just a celebration. Is nothing wrong about it.
Someone that I know from AMI, I forget what country he grew up in, but his school that he went to had Catholic and Muslim religion in the same school, and so they were always together.
I went to a Catholic school in an elementary school. My elementary school, it was Catholic school in Tunisia, but it was a nun-school, like sisters. But it was, they don't focus too much in religion, but they give you the best education. That's why we go there for, and it's like a long time, because it's different. Like the public system in Tunisia, it's different. It's like it's shortened hours, and for the people who work, it doesn't work with them. And Catholic schools and private school, they give you more hours. So, and the good thing, the one advantage that I went to Catholic school, they teach you languages from like the first kindergarten or first grade. Like I speak 3 languages. I speak French and Arabic, and I speak Italian, and now I speak English. But my Italian kind of like, I lost it a little bit. My French and Arabic, that's my main language. They teach you half day Arabic and half a day French. So you will never forget it, because that's the way. And you go into middle school, depend on what you choose. If it's like scientific more, they teach you more French. I had more French than Arabic classes. But after I went to finance and university, so all my education was in French. The Italian, we get languages like here, but 1 year, 2 years, really, if you don't practice it, you lose it. So, well, because Tunisia, it's colonized by France for 50 years, and we are like 2 hours away from France, and 1 hour, actually 45 minutes from Italy. So that's why we're kind of like our culture, it's mixed of all European, Italian, and Arabic and Mediterranean, so it's kind of like mixed of culture. Here, like, just a picture of happy, or you can say, like, you know, we said like earlier, Eid Mubarak, or you can say happy Eid, or you can, if you know the Eid, if you remember the whole Eid, what's called, you can say it. If not, it's just Eid. It's a E-I-D. So I think it's a 3-letter. You can still remember it.
So, can you talk about the sheep? Why?
Oh, for the Eid al-Adha, for the sacrifice, we sacrifice mostly the sheep, and that comes from the story of Abraham, the prophet, where God asked him to sacrifice his son, and he obeyed, and his in the story that after like his a sheep came, and when he was sacrificing his son, the sheep came instead of his.
We have the same story.
Yeah.
In our Bible. So.
I'm sure, like, you know, knowing Angie and Natasha from the temple, we learn a lot from each other, and there's a lot of similarities in our books, even we don't know about it, but we're kind of like similar. I will say our Bible say Quran, that's how we say it. Our Quran, I think it's closer to Torah, to Jewish, more than, but the Christian, like your book, guys, it's kind of like, I think we have more similarity with the Judaism, like Islam and Judaism, kind of like close to each other. in a way.
But I wanted you guys to see that this holiday is based off of that story from Abraham, that story about Abraham, and we hear it with Isaac. And now we also hear a story about Ishmael, and they're celebrating this holiday with Ishmael in the story, rather than Isaac.
Eid al-Adha, the second Eid, it begins with the morning prayers, and the celebration continue with visit to friends and family, exchange gift like a Christmas, because those are the two major ones. The slaughter of the animal, and mostly sheep, but it's different from country to country. Some countries they slaughter goats, some countries they slaughter cows, but it depends on the country itself. But most of the countries they slaughter sheep, and it's not only about the slaughtering, sacrificing. It's about sharing the meat that you have with the less fortunate. That's the most important part of it. Normally, when you slaughter an animal, you have to give the third of it to someone like poor that they don't afford to have to slaughter or sacrifice an animal. If for some people they're poor and they can't, either they can buy like some meat from the grocery store, or a lot of people they will give them. For here in Omaha, the day of Eid al-Adha, a lot of people sacrifice. So we ask for the people who want to give. They can bring to AMI some of the meat, and we can collect it and have the list of the people that they are unfortunate that they can't, and we can distribute it for them. So
one of your pillars of charity.
yes, yeah. That's when we go back about the charity, when they say it's 2.5 of your saving, and if you don't have that money, then you can give other way. This is kind of like one of the way that you can give, and it's one type of charity. So I don't know, what is this one? Anyone have question? Yes.
Can you just explain a little bit more about Ramadan and why the fasting occurs for a month?
Ramadan is very important. It's kind of like a spiritual, like a month for us. It's not about like not eating or drinking a whole month. Ramadan is the month that God, how can I say it? Our prophet, the angel talked to our prophet, and that's how that's the whole. So it's considered a holy month for the Muslims, and that's why it's a lot of. We have to go like every day to the mosque and pray and stay to or whatever. I mean, if you can, of course. Not a lot of people work here, so they cannot do that. But it's in a way, it's a more spiritual, and in another way, it's a way to show how important like other people, like to understand and feel other people who in need that they cannot eat. So it has a lot of benefits, and even if it's for your health, it's very important. And the not the custom, but the way how we fast and how we open our fast, it's kind of like scientifically they found it's like now it's very beneficial to your health. And I don't know if you're familiar to different diet. There is a diet called the fasting diet now, and it's help a lot of people like solve like diabetes, like thyroid problems, and hypertension problems. So it's kind of like have a lot of advantage, and in a way it's more spiritual, and in another way it's a more for your health and for learn lessons from the life that we have here.
How old are your kids when they begin fasting?
My kids really, I started with them really young, but I didn't, of course, it's really a long day because mostly it depends, like now we're going like, and now it's the last Ramadan, it was in June. So it's kind of like a long day. It was in winter, but because it's lunar calendar, so every time it comes 2 weeks earlier than the year before. So like next year it will be like in May.
So were you the person who said that when your kids started to show an interest, like, because we were saying, do you have them fast when they're 3, or how do you do that?
Yeah, they
You
start
let them
like
try for as long as.
that's
Yeah.
the way we started with them. We started early with them. I mean, of course, like they see mom and dad fasting, so they want to try it. And we start with them like, we say, okay, half a day. If you can do a half a day, it will be good. If you can't, that's fine. You can keep doing it until you can reach a half a day first. After it's like, oh, you can have breakfast. And after we can stop for a few hours and don't have lunch, and let's try. That's how we started with them. But the age that normally a girl or a boy start fasting, it's when they reach puberty for the boys, and for the girls when they have their period. That's when they have to fast. But before that, it's
What if
optional.
so do you guys know any friends who fasted during Ramadan in the spring? And were they in sports, or how do kids do that? Is that hard? What do your kids do for
I'm sure, it's hard even for an adult, but when you believe in something, I think you can do it, After a while, seriously, like the first day, maybe it's hard for me because, I drink coffee and the caffeine kind of hit me. But after that, really, like the food and drink, it doesn't matter to me at all. It doesn't. Any question?
Or anything you want to add to it?
Because some people come to me as like, you cannot even drink water, or like drink tea or drink coffee. I was like, no, I'm a nurse. I'm saying like MPO is like nothing by mouth. So, and fasting, it's a lot of, they have condition too. When you're sick, you cannot fast. When, for adult, like who has diabetes and have take medicine, they can't fast. For pregnant, she can't fast. Even if she's, after she having birth, if she breastfeeds, she can't. There's a lot of condition. Old people, they don't have to fast. For the girls who have their period, they don't fast. So it's kind of like a few conditions to it too. So.
I was just wondering, like, what if you become like dehydrated? Like, is that bad for your health? Like, how would fasting?
Well, if you show symptom of dehydration, of course you have to go and break your fast, because that's not what the purpose of Ramadan is. Not like suffering or like getting sick. So, it's more spiritual than that. So if you feel like if anything is gonna happen to you, that's not the purpose of it. So you can, yeah.
So the time
There is some people that they cannot fast, and I mean, it's okay, it's not like,
It's a reflective time, is that kind of what you
Yes.
say when you mean spiritual, like where you're kind of going inward and
Yeah.
thinking about the pillars and your
Yeah.
life and the direction that, the
yeah,
way that you're
that's,
living?
that's all of it, yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Anything that you want to
So
know?
did you talk about that black box?
The Hajj. The Hajj,
That, yeah.
the pilgrimage, it's our like the last pillar of Islam, and it happened once a year, and around Eid al-Adha, like the second major holiday, and it happened like 4 days before our Eid. So the pilgrimage is kind of like a journey, and it's they have to follow that journey. Did you give to
Yeah,
them?
so on the back of these sheets, you can see, this is a very simplified drawing for you to kind of see the stations or all the things that the Hajj entails.
Here, can you see that?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the Hajj is, it's like the pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia where the Hajj is, and it's a host almost to Muslims from around the world. And it's, they said 6 days, but it's kind of like 5 to 7 days, because you know you have to arrive and you have to start your journey, so it kind of like give you the window of 5 to 7 days. This kind of like showing, and then the 2 million Muslim really, that's kind of not like exactly it can be like way more than that.
I like it just for the images and for looking at each point. So you start, talk about like where you start and then
Well,
what's the next.
You start from here, you start from the Kaaba. This is the first start here. It kind of like, this is kind of like more detailed. It's showing like the entrance and everything, but in kind of like in the,
When you go in, you do.
to summarize it, it's like 4 places really, the main one that you have to go. That's the first one, the Kaaba. I'm trying to see if I have a picture of it. This is the Kaaba, and you can tell like how many, you see how many people around. Those all people, and now it's kind of like, I think it's 4th floor now. So not only around here, it's like inside and in the top floors.
So are people walking around up there too, because it's so
Yes,
crowded?
yeah, because it's hard to 2 million people to go around that spot, you know. So kind of like now, every year change, a lot of changes, because you know when they have a lot of incidents, they kind of think about other option to do it. So I'll show you here different.
And then,
No, that's not it.
that 3 and 4, now that's that story of Ishmael and Hajar, right?
No, that's the show and sacrifice.
Is that what this spot is when they go back and forth between those mountains?
This is the, what is the, I'm gonna go to the, I don't know how it went to that slide. Let me do it again here. I'll find another one, easier.
One thing that was hard for me to understand when I was trying to just listen to it without a visual was, it sounded to me like they had to travel really far away and then they climbed this mountain. But when you look at some of these maps, it's really a contained area. And nowadays, it's kind of more commercialized, like they've enclosed it, right, and it's air conditioned, except for the
Oh,
part where you
yes,
go
that's why I
out
want
to
to show a
Ararat.
video, but it's kind of like, because the way how they show the picture, it's completely different nowadays. It changed a lot, so, but I don't want to have like
And
a long, and there's sounds. Oh, it's mine. I don't know if you have. This is not like a recent ones, but just to give you an idea about the Hajj day. This is call of prayer. And in Arabic, we write from right to left. So that's why you will see some picture of the Quran. It's like from right to left. Yeah, see, it wasn't like just a kind of review, yeah.
so while you're looking, if you guys look at this map, one of the things that I thought was interesting, because I grew up Christian and heard the Bible stories about Ishmael and Hagar, those two little mountains are where Ishmael and Hagar were left, and they ran out of water. She thought they ran out of water, and she was running back and forth looking for water for her son. And then a well appeared. There's two different stories for how the water appeared, but that's part of the Hajj, is reenacting that story between those two mountains.
It's been like dragging.
I don't know where Will went, but I think there's a way to turn the sound on.
Will's in the kitchen. You can hold the microphone by the speakers.
That sounds like a great idea.
Jack, stop being stupid, Josh. That's big.
I don't want to choose like a long video. It's gonna be boring.
And there was one of them. It was like just a hard documentary.
Give me out the camera.
Well, just we want to give you an idea about the Hajj. I mean, you don't have to know all the steps for it. That sounds. Oh. Here. Sorry.
Jeff, did you get your question answered?
Oh, no.
Jack has a question. What is the question, Jack?
What's your question, sorry?
How old is the Kaaba?
The Kaaba?
Yeah.
It's in the 530 BC, so
Okay, so that thing, when I was reading that box was about, but see that gold
yeah,
glassing
Yeah.
clothes thing? Now, those are supposedly like footprints of Abraham?
yes.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, people like, it's hard to get to that point of tawaf. The tawaf is, the Kaaba itself, and the tawaf mean they have to do 7 times around the Kaaba, and after that they have to do, if it come up again in the picture, I'll show you, that's the footprint of Abraham. So just to get there, it's the hardest point. And not a lot of people, they can do the whole journey. It's really hard. Yes.
You can like drag it's like a 360-degree video, so you can like drag it.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. That's cool. Good for your
Hopefully not giving you like a headache.
Have you made this journey yet?
No, not yet. Hopefully we do it one day.
That was my question.
Yes.
What's the, I love tea.
When?
The iftar.
The iftar, it's a one sunset, sorry.
And that's,
The iftar is at the sunset time. So,
you can break your fast.
yes. Right now, the sunset, it's like around 6:45 p.m. So if you fast, you'll break your fast around 6:45 p.m.
Can you talk about, now during Ramadan, doesn't AMI break or have an iftar as a community on one night?
Yeah, we do. We try to do it once a week. It's hard for people to come every day and cook every day, so we try to do potluck every week on Fridays. Yeah.
And then the one thing that I remembered that I liked, so part of the Hajj was going to Mount Arafat, and everyone has to wear the same, or like white.
Yeah, for the Hajj full pilgrimage, when you start the first day of pilgrimage, you have to wear white cloth for the men, and for the women, they have to wear like white clothes, covered, of course, like their head. That's because it's considered white, is considered like purity, and in that journey, it's kind of like, you're gonna,
And
it's like you're,
And it's also to put everyone at the same level.
Yes,
So that,
it's
so
like-
there's no distinction between someone with a lot of money and
yes,
someone.
it's like
They
you
have
have,
really
you
nice
have to
clothes.
wear the same clothes. It's a cloth, and it's gonna have a lot of details, like you don't have, it's a special cloth that you buy. It's not like sued or anything. So it just like, because it's the whole journey, it's kind of like a very spiritual journey. So they try, I mean, not try, but it's, you have to be like just equal, like no one is better than other. So
For unifying, yeah.
yeah.
And that's the one part of the Hajj that Muhammad did. The rest of it is all linked back to Abraham, or Ibrahim.
Yes.
Okay, speaking of that, so Will said something a couple weeks ago. When you talk about the Prophet Muhammad, then you say, peace be upon him.
Yes.
Okay, so when we,
Hey,
like how I
guys.
just said Muhammad, is that, should I have said peace be upon him? Does that offend you?
No, it doesn't offend me, no.
But would it some people?
It's mostly for Muslims, they have to do it. It's just because in our religion, we don't give pictures to our prophets or God. We don't show them as person. Even Prophet Muhammad, he is a person, but we don't show him. We don't try to have someone who can present him, because he's kind of like the prophet and the messenger of Allah, and there is a reason that God chose him. So that's why we don't give a picture to him. But what was your question? Forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
different
yeah.
people.
No, it doesn't, because it's,
You answered.
yeah, the Muslims like, and when we pray, we say peace of Abraham, but it doesn't, we don't get offended from other people that they don't know it, so.
Do you guys have any questions about Islam that you're afraid to ask, or you feel like would be silly to ask a friend? Because
Yeah,
it's a
you
good
don't
person
have
to
to be
ask.
shy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so like, I don't know if this last week, but a few weeks ago we learned about like different like denominations of Christianity. So they're like different like sections of Islam.
We do, but not very major like Christianity. There's Shia and Sunni, but like in Tunisia, I was raised as we don't have that different parties. I don't know, maybe you heard in the news, Iraq, for example, has Sunni and Shia, Iran too, but not all the countries have. Mostly in Tunisia, it's Sunnis, so we don't have that. And here in Omaha, we don't divide ourselves because we're not big, we have only one congregation and we don't want to be divided. So it's just, the religion itself is, I mean, we believe in the same thing. It's just the tradition and some customs, like how you pray and all that stuff. But for main prayer, like our Friday prayer, we all pray at the same time. We all pray the same way. So we don't try to divide ourselves. Yes.
So in Christianity, you can get like baptized and like confirmed. Is there anything like that in Islam or like similar to it? That you guys
It's a more culturally, like we have the circumcision for the boys when they're little. That's kind of like a major thing, but
We
not
talked about
here.
that last week.
And I was surprised, seriously, when I came to the United States to see like the circumcision here. But here it's considered like a health-wise, not like a religious. So, but back, I mean, in the Arab countries, yeah, in the Muslim countries, it is. We don't have similar to Christianity, but it's a more tradition. Some countries, like the Jewish bar mitzvah, they have to know like the Torah, like when they are 12. For us, in some countries, like they have to read the Quran same way, like a bar mitzvah, the way say the same way as the Jewish. So, but that's it.
Is AMI more in line with Sunni or Shiite?
If you ask our imam, he will say no, we're all the same. But I'm raised Sunni, but I don't see any difference.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we have a guest speaker here. So maybe you should look at her. What other questions? Have you done the Hajj?
No, I didn't yet, no.
Oh,
I hope one day,
yeah.
when I'm healthy too, not when I...
And they don't let Muslims in Mecca during the Hajj, or non-Muslims.
Non-Muslim.
Non-Muslim. It's not like they don't let non-Muslim. I think because you saw a picture and you saw how many people, so, and all of them, they try to do the, their obligation. So it's kind of like hard to open it to other faiths because I think it's the space and the numbers.
Yeah.
Can you go visit the Kaaba at any time? Or
Yes.
is it specifically open?
Oh, no, you can visit anytime the Kaaba, yes. For the pilgrimage, to consider like you went to achieve your fifth pillar of Islam, you have to do it, and it's once and it's a set date and time. But you can go visit Mecca anytime. Yes.
But if you're not Muslim, you can't do like the whole journey thing?
It will be an option for you, but you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like you go here, you want to go visit the American Muslim Institute, you can go anytime. So it's the same in Mecca, the same in Arab country. If you want to go visit like worship places, you can go. I mean, it's open to everybody.
Hajj journey, right?
I mean, you will do it just for curiosity, but you don't do it like an obligation for you, You can say, well, if you have a guide and, you say, I really want to go and see the whole journey and all the places for the Hajj, I'm sure he will guide you and take you to the places.
Yeah, you have
Yes.
to have a guide, right?
What time of
Yes.
year is the Hajj?
What time?
Yeah.
It's always around the second holiday. It's Eid al-Adha, and it changes every year, like 2 weeks earlier. This year it was around August 20th.
So all of the major holidays follow the lunar cycle? Is
Yes.
that all? Okay.
Yes, all of them, yeah.
John?
Is there like a Muslim calendar?
There is. We follow based on our holidays and based on the calendar. And this is like the names you can see here, the names of the 12 months that comprise the Islamic year are, I'm sure it's kind of like hard for you guys to know them, but it's Muharram and Safar and Rabi'a al-Awwal, Rabi'a al-Thani, Jumada al-Thani, Rajab, Shaban, and Ramadan. That's the month where we fast. It's the 9th month. And 10, it's Shawwal, and Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hajj is the 12th month. The last month of the year, it's the Hajj time.
So if you're born on a certain day, like with the Muslim calendar, do you celebrate that, or do you celebrate the one of the American calendar? Like,
No, we celebrate the American calendar. Yeah. It'll be nice to have two celebrations. I do not mind.
In a Muslim country though, would you celebrate the birthday on?
No, I don't think so. It's mostly based on religious holidays, not like personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
so could you have 2 holidays in a year?
What's that?
Could you have 2 holidays in a year, depending on the lunar calendar?
We have a few holidays, but I talked about the 2 major holidays that we have. But we have Ramadan is considered, not considered a holiday, but it's just something that is celebrated by the Muslims.
Oh yeah, no, I worded that wrong.
Okay.
Sorry.
Say it again.
Like 2 of the same holiday here. In America.
Oh,
Yeah, American year,
no,
what they
no.
call the
Yeah.
first.
For the religious holidays, the Islamic holidays, it's only you have to celebrate based on the Islamic year calendar, that's it.
So like, if one of the major holidays falls on like January 1st, would it occur again, like later in the year?
Yes, yeah, it will occur again like the next year, exactly like the same year, because it's 2 weeks earlier than the year before, yeah.
You can get an app that shows that you can track the holidays and the prayer times as well.
Yeah, yeah, we have an app that like you just put like your state, and it will give you all the prayers, time, all the holidays. If we pray, we have to face like a Kaaba, so it will tell you exactly where to face. So, yeah, you just have a phone and an app, and
Good to go.
yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you, Olfa.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Hang on. We're not done yet.
Before you
We're not
guys
done
leave,
yet.
Charlotte and Andy, we're not done yet. Before you leave, write Olfa's name, O-L-F-A, and please give her a butterfly, and then Will has an announcement. Don't go yet. Well, you can say it while they go.
Thank you, Wolfa.
Yes, thank you.
We don't have confirmation next week because it's Halloween. And then if anybody wanted to go on a ski trip with the senior high, you're welcome to come. It's December 26th to 29th, $420. So let me know if you're interested in that.
You gotta convince my parents, it's gonna be expensive.